Welcome to Canucks Last Week, where I try to cover everything Canucks hockey in a shorter amount of time than the Canucks goalless drought. 222 minutes and 57 seconds. That's 3 hours and 43 minutes of scoreless hockey. For comparison, Interstellar is 2 hours and 49 minutes. Avatar is 2 hours and 42 minutes. Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring, which is a long freaking movie, is 3 hours and 48 minutes, just barely longer than the Canucks goalless drought. Man, if Brock Besser was just live streaming himself sitting on the couch while he's injured, I'd rather have watched that than the games this week. Positivity. The Canucks started off their week with a 3-0 loss to the Anaheim Ducks. Not really much else to say about that. You know, I'd kind of forgotten what it was like to be an extremely low-scoring team like the past couple of years due to, well, Brock Besser, but life comes at you fast. On to the next game against the San Jose Sharks on St. Patrick's Day. Surely the luck of the Irish would smile upon the Canucks, and I mean, when the team has had a change-up culture in the past, you know what? I'm not going to bring up some old wounds. I think the cruelest outcome for this game would have been for the Canucks to get shut out again, breaking the NHL's record for longest goal drought at 253 minutes and 33 seconds, and Jannik Hansen would score the only goal for the San Jose Sharks, so technically a Canucks scored just to rub salt in the wound. I mean, then at that point, I really would have questioned if we're just living in a simulation. A simulation just to see how much Canucks fans can endure before they start to freak out and riot. Man, I'm really bringing up some old wounds. Honestly, if you can't laugh at yourself, what's the point? Man, what am I becoming? I still get chirped in Toronto about the riots, and it's kind of like, okay, good one, but there's so much that's happened since then to the Vancouver Canucks to chirp us about. Like, Jake Virtanen, for instance, write some new material. Man, how the tables have turned. Anyway, 118 shots since Jussi Jokinen's goal against the Minnesota Wild. What is this team? How is the last goal they've scored come from Jussi Jokinen? On the power play, JV18 curls in the neutral zone, picking up speed, breaks in, and fires the puck around the boards to Reed Boucher, who then finds Derek Pouliot at the point. Pouliot passes the puck off to Goldobin on the left half wall, who finds himself with time and space, and Abbotsford boy Jake Virtanen parked in front of the net like a black Chevrolet Escalade blocking an alley. That was a super random image, I don't know, I just associate Vancouver with those black Escalades. I'm getting off topic, Right. Goldobin. With time and space and a JV18 screen, Goldobin wires one short side. Finally, they scored, they've done it. Slay the Dragon 2.0. Collective sigh of relief everywhere. Going back to an Interstellar reference, I'm sure as fans we felt like Matthew McConaughey's character when he's trapped on the planet for a couple hours, but for the Canucks, they must have felt like his daughter who had been waiting years to score. Anyway, fast forward the rest of the game, Canucks lose 5-3. Finally, last night, the Canucks lose 4-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights, the perennial powerhouse Vegas Golden Knights. I just don't know how they do it. Every year, they just seem to make the playoffs since their inception. Remember when people thought the Canucks would be in a tank battle with the Knights? Oh, sucks to suck, Vegas. We're pulling away with this battle. Kidding aside, please, for an actual review of this game, go and check out my buddy Vegas Golden Knights coverage on YouTube. Link will be down in the description. He makes fan reactions for each game the Vegas Golden Knights play. If you're interested in learning more about other teams in the NHL like the Golden Knights, please, I highly recommend you go and check out this dude's channel. So after this week, the Canucks are currently on a 7-game losing streak and are 1-9 in their last 10. So, tank battle update, the Arizona Coyotes are now matching us with 59 points, however, with one less game played, so they are now in 29th place, we are in 30th, and the Buffalo Sabres are in 31st with 58 points. Also, Buffalo and Arizona play against each other tonight, and if somehow they go into overtime and Buffalo wins, the Vancouver Canucks will be in sole possession of last place. Positivity. In other news, Erik Branson's season is done as his shoulder requires surgery. He's been playing through this injury for most of the new year, and it was known for a while that he would probably need season-ending surgery, so that probably explains why teams wouldn't want to trade much for him. My reaction to the signing at the time was just, okay, I can live with this, but now I can see just how tied Benning's hands were. I get it, he would have lost face if he just let him walk for nothing considering what he gave up, and teams weren't willing to trade much for him. I'm not gonna get into the whole Gutty for McCann deal. There's no point. What's done is done, it's in the past. Here's a quote from Lao Tsu that I like. To be depressed is to live in the past, to be anxious is to live in the future, to be at peace is to live in the present. Joke's on him though, because I'm already dead inside. Another topic that I want to get into is Bo Horvat's penalty killing. Looking at his stats for a second, his expected goals against per 60 is third worst on the team in forwards with 7.28. His shot suppression numbers aren't great either, with the third highest amount of unblocked shot attempts against per 60 out of all forwards on the team. He is, however, one of the best forwards on the team at limiting high danger shots against on the penalty kill. So penalty killing is definitely something that he can be working on at the tail end of the season. However, I'm not quite convinced that long-term the penalty kill as his main operation is his best fit. Like, yeah, I totally believe he can be good at it one day and he'll be serviceable, but I'd much rather him just be given boatloads amount of time on the power play, as I think his skill set is much more suited in an offensive role. Lastly, while the Canucks are definitely not going to be seeing any playoff action anytime soon, our prospects will be. Adam Gaudette is about to start his NCAA tournament with Northeastern. He has 4 single elimination games, with his 4th being in the NCAA finals. If his team makes it to that game, he probably won't see time this year in a Canucks uniform, but if his team gets knocked out in any of the 3 games prior, there's very good odds that we'll all see him in a Canucks uniform at the end of this year. I'm not too worried about Gaudette not signing if his team does make it to the finals. From what I've heard in all of his interviews, it doesn't sound like he's had any inclination to playing 4 years and then signing with another team. He sounds very, very loyal. He could also join Utica's playoff run this year, so long as he doesn't suit up for the Vancouver Canucks. Olio Levy and TPS Turku have their playoffs starting, as well as Elias Pettersson and Vaxio in the SHL, as well as all of our CHL prospects, so there's that to look forward to if you're a Canucks fan. So that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by leaving a like, as it really helps me out knowing if I'm doing stuff right and wrong. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting subscribe and joining all of us on this Canucks journey, and please go and check out my buddy Vegas Golden Knights coverage on YouTube, link on screen and down in the description. Canucks fans, there's 9 games left. We can do this.